So, Madden 23, it's on the verge of coming out. It's coming out in a little over a month, August 19th, for those who are waiting to camp outside of your local GameStop. And the ratings are starting to be released, and they are being released position by position, with Monday seeing the wide receivers and the tight ends. And some of the wide receivers received curious ratings, and we'll get to the big name ones in a minute, but let's start at home with our Detroit Lions. And as we all know, last year, the second half of the season, we saw a breakout from Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then in the offseason, they added Jacksonville's number 1 in DJ Chark. And then in the draft, they used the first-round pick on speedy wideout Jameson Williams. But apparently, the dudes at EA Sports are not impressed, as every Lion wide receiver received a grade of 78 or lower, placing all of them at the 60th or worst position for wide receivers. The 3 names I mentioned received the highest grade of 78. Josh Reynolds, Quintez Cephas, Khalif Raymond all got 73s. Trinity Benson, who got a 69, and Tom Kennedy with a 66. Ryan, how you feel about the Lions' grades for their wide receivers?
I think the grades themselves are probably pretty fair. You could argue St. Brown is an 80 or 81 or something like that, and I wouldn't have so much like pushback on it. Where I would have pushback on for the St. Brown part is I think 78 is a decently fair score. I don't know that there's 60 wide receivers better than Amon-Ra St. Brown in the NFL. I have a little bit of a hard time believing that, but yeah, I guess we'll see. We have seen what the other receivers that have come out. I haven't looked at the top 60 yet, but I'm sure if I looked at the list, I'd say, oh, he's definitely above X, Y, and Z and all those guys. Williams, we obviously don't know. That's a rookie that's pretty standard for all Madden rookies, even like the high-rated quarterbacks. You're never going to see anyone above an 80 for a rookie quarterback, so that I understand. DJ Chark, 78 might even be a little high for Chark, honestly. Like he could probably be like a 76 or 75, and I don't think anybody would be batting a real eye there. But it goes to show what we know. It's probably the worst position group by team in Madden, I would guess, with nobody being over an 80, or certainly like the worst skill position group, I would say. And I think that's something that we all knew coming into the season anyway, was the Lions wide receivers were really bad last year, and they're probably going to have a pretty bad wide receiver corps this year as well, because Jameson Williams isn't expected to be playing right away anyway. DJ Chark, again, I don't know that I'd necessarily call him washed, but he's been like okay as a receiver. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown has only 1 year and had a good like last 6 or 8 games or something like that, but it's not like he's a top 10 receiver or anything like that. So I think it goes to what we knew already.
Yeah, look, and the fans look at things through rose-colored glasses. We always have, and our local fans have been touting up this offense in general coming into these regular season coming up in a month and a half or so. But they were all excited about the quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, and running back duo. But St. Brown, yeah, last year finished Offensive Rookie of the Month, but that wasn't the whole season, so can he do it for a full season? Chark had a Pro Bowl in 2019. He has yet to show another year like that, and he's coming off a pretty serious ankle injury. Williams, we don't know, like you said, tons of physical tools, but he is a rookie. He's coming off a torn ACL. But, look, let's give a little bit of props here. Jameson Williams was the highest-rated rookie receiver. He's ahead of Drake London, who got a 75, ahead of Garrett Wilson, who got a 76, ahead of Chris Olave, who got a 76. So with him at 78 and his overall speed of a 98, second only to Tyreek Williams among all NFL receivers. So there was some love shown to these wide receivers, especially Williams there as a rookie, with us not knowing for sure what's going to happen when he's going to be on the field and how well he is going to do on the field. And you go along with that with our tight end. TJ Hawkinson has an 89 overall rating, which is 5th among the tight ends. So there was a little love shown to the Lions here by EA Sports.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to look at another silver lining is if you're going to kind of project these guys out to end the season, I think St. Brown can probably get about 84, 85 if he has a really nice year. Williams at 80, again, I don't really expect him to play so many games to start the year. So if he even cracked like 80 or 81, that would be pretty exciting. But I bet I bet the Lions will get used way more, and Williams might even get a bit of a bump because they do Ultimate Team and stuff. So we got a lot of players are going to have Jamison Williams cards, and they're going to try to like cheese his speed, his 98 speed. So I don't know if Madden will show him a little extra love because of that, because they know a lot of their players are using him. But I would expect St. Brown to finish the season higher than a 78 for sure.
Okay, so we've seen this throughout years past that the ratings do change during the season, and Madden alerts it. If you all of a sudden were a 99 now and you weren't a 99 earlier, it's all this stuff. We see this happen throughout Madden. So if the 3 wide receivers that we're talking about mostly for the Lions all finish the season with an 80, 81, 82, something like that, they've all improved their stock by the end of the year. You would think that's been a pretty good year for them as a wide receiver core, no?
Yeah. If they're all able to boost up their ratings, that probably means the Lions are throwing the ball more than we all expect.
Or at least they're doing their job pretty well and holding on to it and actually creating something out of it when they do get their targets. All right, let's get to the bigger names on this list, because there was some shockers on here. We're talking about the big names that everyone knows, and the top 10 was really what was touted about, but it really ended up being into the top 20 because there were some names on 11 through 20 that people felt were a little bit shafted. So, number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, according to Madden, Davante Adams. No shocker there. 99 overall. Cooper Kupp.
Agreed.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp right behind him at 98. And I went over some of these numbers, and I want you to help me understand this because you play this a heck of a lot more than I do. And I'm trying to figure out why Kupp is a 98 overall and Adams a 99 overall when they both have the same awareness, 99. They both have the same catch, 99. They both have the same agility, 95. Acceleration, Cooper Kupp is actually better, 96 versus 92. Speed, Davante Adams, 90, Kupp 89. So why is Davante Adams a 99 and Kupp a 98?
I don't know. Did you look at route running? Or they do have other like catching metrics, like spectacular catch or like catch in traffic, which are other ratings that they can use to determine like how good a guy is.
They don't tout those as much when they're breaking down each of these guys. All right, so behind Kupp at 98 is Tyreek Hill at 97. DeAndre Hopkins at 96, he's the 4th best. Stephon Diggs, 95, he's the 5th best. Justin Jefferson, who he was traded for, at 93 overall. Mike Evans, 92. Keenan Allen's 91. Terry McLaurin, 91. And then Amari Cooper, number 10 at 90 overall. And this is where I'm starting to see some more griping about these ratings, because if you scroll down to 11 through 20, at number 20 is Jamar Chase, who had an unbelievable rookie year with the Bengals, and people are up in arms that this kid is not already a top 10 wide receiver in Madden.
Yeah, I wouldn't have blinked if they gave Jamar Chase a 90 at all. If you told me Jamar Chase was a better Madden receiver than Amari Cooper, I'd have been like, yeah, like, that makes sense. No duh. So that's surprising. Other than the top 10, I don't think there's so many surprises between there. I think the top 5 is who I would have had in the top 5, maybe a little bit order like differential, but I think their top 5 is right. And the only problem I'd really see with the top 10 is probably the fact that Jamar Chase isn't in there. But worse than that, and I'm sure you're about to mention it, is some of the guys, even after 10, in that 11 to 20 range, who are still ranked ahead of Jamar Chase, is where I think you start to really raise some eyebrows.
Well, so it's funny. Look, Amari Cooper's kind of been forgotten about in his time in Dallas. It hasn't been what everyone hoped it would be, and he was an absolute stud coming out of college and thought he went to the right place, and it just, whether it's Dak and his issues, whether it's them trying to force the run, or just having other weapons, Cooper just hasn't shown the way that people thought he would shine. So maybe this will change with him in Cleveland now, but you look at the names behind him at 11, Mike Thomas, 12, Tyler Lockett, 13, Chris Godwin, 14, DJ Metcalf, 15, Debo Samuel, then Adam Thielen at 16, DJ Moore at 17, A.J. Brown at 18, and Brandon Cooks at 19 before we get to Jamar Chase at 20. My bigger gripe, honestly, for me, is Debo Samuel, because I think Debo Samuel is one of the top 5 or 6 most dangerous football players in the NFL. His ability to, look, I understand it's a wide receiver, so it's only going to be a wide receiver-centric rating, but he plays so much in different aspects of the game with running the ball and receiving that I would think it would take all into account. Now, again, this a lot better than I do, so you can absolutely correct me if I'm dead wrong here. But do they take into account how dangerous Debo is just as a football player, or are all they looking at is when he catches the ball and does something with it afterwards?
They're really looking at just like how he catches the ball. So he'll have a different rating as like a punt returner than he does as a receiver. Or even if you lined him up as like your running back, he would have a different rating than he does as a receiver. So he's not just like a blanket, whatever he is, 88, 80, whatever he is. He's not just like a blanket 88 overall. It depends on the position. So, no, they don't take it. The short answer is no, they don't take that into account when rating wide receivers. But if they rated him as a punt returner, it'd be higher or lower based on whatever ratings or attributes that they give them.
Now, the overall number that they get, so with obviously, it's not football player overall, it's just overall for your position.
It's position. And he's mostly a wide receiver. He's listed as a wide receiver in the game. So whenever you talk about his overall, it's going to be whatever it is as a wide receiver. When you go into to the depth chart and then you add him as a kick returner or something, his overall will be different.
So with him getting so much use as a running back, running on sweeps or whatever, I mean, that doesn't, so his overall is not going to include that. I'm stuck on Debo Samuel just because of how much he's used in other aspects, where I feel like Madden should give him the graces of, look, dude, like maybe as a wide receiver, you're overall an 88, but as a football player, your overall's a 95. Like, they don't do that?
That dog in him rating.
Yeah.
No, they don't do that. But if you lined him up at running back, he would probably be rated ahead of just about every other wide receiver if you lined them up at running back, aside from, I don't know, maybe like Cordero Patterson or something. But yeah, if you lined him up at running back, he would still be pretty good, whereas most other wide receivers would probably be pretty bad.
Okay, so you said you're pretty good with the top five. It looks like Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, and Stephon Diggs. So 6 through 10, Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, and Amari Cooper. Who are you throwing out, and who are you bringing in?
Oh, I'm throwing Amari Cooper out. Immediately.
Okay.
I don't know. Give me like 11 through 15.
11 through 15. Mike Thomas, who we haven't seen in about 2.5 years. Tyler Lockett.
Nope, he can get out of here.
Tyler Lockett. Chris Godwin.
Nope.
DJ Metcalf.
No, I'd probably.
DJ Metcalf.
I'd probably, yeah. DK would probably be my number 10.
Okay, so you don't like you like Cooper over Godwin?
I know he had it down here, but I think I'd have Amari Cooper lower. But if I was like rounding out this top 10, I think Metcalf is better.
Okay. Then after Metcalf is Debo, and then Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I'd probably put Thielen a little lower. Like, I think I'd have Jamar Chase above almost all of those guys.
Yeah.
Like, probably not Debo, or like close to Debo. I don't think I'd have him above Godwin, but I'd have him above like probably even Amari Cooper and Thielen and DJ Moore, who I know is ranked at him.
And A.J. Brown and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably have him just above A.J. Brown. I like A.J. Brown, though. But I'd have him definitely above Brandon Cooks.
All right, now how do you feel about Terry?
Like Robert Woods, I think, is close.
Terry McLaurin.
I love Terry McLaurin. I love him. I think he's really good. I'm actually pretty excited to add him in the top 10 because that's my man.
It's just forgotten about because he's on just such a bad team in Washington that has just had so many issues.
I know, he's sweet,
right.
though. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Run TMC.
All right, now what about Keenan Allen? It's still a fantastic wide receiver. He's getting up there in age a little bit. Starting to, and we're talking about football age anyway.
Yeah, 91 seems about right for Keenan Allen. I like him as a receiver. I think by season's end, like Jamar Chase will probably have a higher rating than Keenan Allen. But Keenan Allen's just so consistent, and he hasn't done anything to lose his top. Is he 9 here? To lose his top, 9 spot in the NFL.
And you've also got a 6'4", whatever he is, wide receiver on the other side in Mike Williams. That definitely hurts Keenan Allen's ability to get the ball as much because they don't need to get the ball to him as much because they got a pretty good wide receiver on the other side to catch passes as well. Whereas Jamar Chase, his number 2 is, I don't think, nearly as good as Keenan Allen's number 2.
No, not at all. I think Chase could be, honestly, like a 95 by the time the season's up. I think he can make a big jump. We haven't even talked about CeeDee Lamb. He's probably 86, 85, something like that. I think he could make a real big jump into the upper, lower 90s, like being 91, 92. I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, 91 range, I think CeeDee Lamb could jump up in there. 91, 92, I don't know if you want to call those upper or lower. The 90, Mike Evans is another guy like Keenan Allen who I think you just have to put in there because he hasn't done anything to lose his spot, even though I think I'm lower on Mike Evans as a football player, and like every year it seems to just prove me wrong because he's always really good. So he's a guy I think you have to have in there as well. But I would look for Jamar Chase to make a big leap. I'd look for CeeDee Lamb to make a big leap. And then, I think, again, some of these other guys can get in where you fit in. And Debo Samuel, I think, is going to be really interesting if he ends up like staying with the Niners this year because they're going to have Trey Lance, and it's just like a complete wild card. We have no idea like how much he's going to get the ball, how effective he's going to be. They're probably going to try and use him as like a running back and stuff, but he could still even get traded before the season starts.
A name that surprised me that was not on this top 20 list, and it might be because he's suspended for the whole year, but Calvin Ridley with Atlanta. Dude's a stud on the field.
I thought Ridley was like an 86, right? 86, 85? That's probably just outside the top
20 right.
But you might be able to pick him up for free agency. If you're on a dynasty or something, like he might still be available in the game. No, Ridley's a beast, though. He's definitely not going up this year. So
definitely not.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I would almost. There's just some names here. I mean, look, Mike Thomas is fantastic.
Where's Julio? Do you have that in front of you?
No, Julio. Where's Julio? Come on now. Where do you think Julio's going to be?
Bro, I say you're giving like a Jew, but Mike Thomas is out here getting 90s.
Oh yeah,
wide receiver Julio.
Yeah, but wide receiver Julio is a lot older than wide receiver Mike Thomas.
Julio has an overall rating of 84.
All right, so Calvin Ridley is just outside.
Disrespecting my man.
Calvin Ridley is 21. He's 86 overall. Mike Williams as well with him at 86. Robert Woods right there as well, 86. So boom, 21, 22, 23. CeeDee Lamb right after them. And then we're getting into the Deontay Johnsons, Hunter Renfrows, Cortland Suttons, Jalen Waddles. Look, I'm a big fan just in general. I always was a fan of his. Hunter Renfrow was fun to watch. He was great at Clemson. Big part of them winning a championship. But I'm pretty sure Jalen Waddle's a better wide receiver than Hunter Renfrow.
I think so. We'll see this year. He's going to have Tyreek Hill on the opposite side.
Yeah.
He's catching all those two floaters.
The good thing with this is we're going to see these numbers change throughout the season. And so we can definitely re-up on this in December and see where we're at with these guys compared to where we were before the season started. There are definitely some shockers in the top 20. I think too much love is being thrown certain guys' ways and a little bit of ignoring on some of the guys. This is how we are as fans. We have our favorites and we have our guys that we don't like. I don't get the love for DJ Moore. I really don't. I don't think anything stands out about him. Maybe it's because they don't really have a quarterback in Carolina who can get him the ball, but I just don't understand the love for him there. There are a bunch of guys I just said that I would have above DJ Moore personally.
Yeah, me too. I think he's a fine football player, but where he's ranked is a little bit crazy to me. Who do you think is going to be the highest rated player on the Lions? I know we've seen the wide receivers and then the tight ends. So you have Hawk at that 89. Do you think anybody crosses that 89 bar?
Are we talking about skill positions or just
everybody? Like even Jack Fox, can he sneak his way into a 92?
Like how good's our punter?
Our punter's pretty good. I think he honestly might be the best punter in the NFL. I just don't know that he'll be.
Yeah, do they rate punters that high?
They do. And so for a long time, Shane Leckler had a 99 in Madden because he was just a really.
Did he really? Wow. Shane Leckler deserved it of a punter. So I guess when you are far and away the best in the game, hey, look, props to EA Sports for giving 99s the punters. Because I figured they would just have a stick, like a little Post-it note up on the programmer's window saying nothing over 89 for punters.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tucker might have gotten in 99 too. I don't know.
Kickers are different. I'm talking about just strictly punters on this one. Highest rated Lion. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Penei Sewell at left tackle. I think it's going to be someone in the trenches for the Lions. I don't think it's going to be a skill position player. I just don't think any of our skill.
Yeah, I think it'll be Hawk. I don't know that anybody else is getting a 90.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless it's Jack Fox. I guess I'll say Jack Fox. I think Jack Fox will be. I don't know if they might hold him and give him 88. I don't know. I'll say Jack Fox just because we already know Hawk is. I'll say Jack Fox.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?